Hi, everyone. Today is Monday, May 11th, our very last week of school. Can't believe it. On page 83, you'll find the cartoon for today. And it says, Mr. Osborne, may I be excused? My brain is full. I thought that was very appropriate because I don't know if you have looked through this week's homework assignments, but you have a lot. And the reason is that I wasn't quite sure how the end of the school year would look, because typically we do our post-test and then we do one-on-one counseling, and I try to give something for everyone who's not doing their counseling, to give them some homework. So do not worry if you cannot get through this week's activities in this week's time. You have all summer to do it. So anyway, wouldn't that be a lovely excuse to have, though? It's like, oh, my brain is full. I just can't do any more today. Okay, on page 84, we have your alphabetics, and I did one for you. The words are acknowledges, non-involvement, magical, argumentative, pre-owned, peaceful, cattle, inactive, preheat, proclaim, exclaim, combine, comedic. And I did the word non-involvement for you. So the suffix is mint. Right up above this little purple, there's mint, M-E-N-T. But then the prefix was non, and we haven't had that one, so I put it down here. Just making sure I'm not running over my dog. There you are. So non is another prefix. Non-involvement, non-compliance. I'm trying to think of some more. I'll think of some more for you. Okay, so please go ahead and attach your prefixes and suffixes to these words down here. This week, a lot more of them have both a prefix and a suffix. Okay, so today we're going to continue to work on our alphabetics, on learning to spell words and learning to recognize them. And we're working on the letter Y today. And there are a lot of rules. No, there's not a lot. Let me rephrase that. There are four. There are four parts to the rules that you need to know in order to understand why the letter Y is the way it is. So we're going to look at the four parts that you need to know when it comes to the letter Y. Let me share with you. Okay, I'm going to hide that ribbon. Okay, so the first one is, number one is when the word ends with a consonant and Y, you change the Y to I and add your suffix. So happy, the P is the consonant, there's your Y. So you change the Y to the I and add your suffix ness, happiness. Or if we're doing the comparative, happier, or superlative, happiest. Okay, another one, empty. T is your consonant. Y. So you change that Y to an I and add your suffix ness, or you add your suffix ed. emptiness, and emptied. So when you have a consonant and a Y, you get rid of the Y and add an I. And scroll down to the next one. Okay. If you're adding the suffix S, you change the Y to I still, but you also add ES, so it's IES. So study, get rid of the Y. Here's your consonant D. Get rid of the Y, add the I and ES, studies. Copy, here's your consonant P, there's your Y, so you get rid of the Y, add the I, and then add the ES, copies. So that's part number 2. But if your suffix starts with I, then you keep the Y because it doesn't look right. It makes absolutely no sense. For example, even though study, you've got the consonant and the Y, if you change the Y to I and then you add ing, it looks like studying. You can't connect two I's like that. So you have to keep it studying. So whenever you have a suffix that starts with I, like ing, then you keep the Y because that just doesn't look right, does it? The same thing on try. If you change that Y to I, it's like treeing. So you keep the Y and add ing only when your suffix is starting with the I. See how important those suffixes are? Okay. But what happens when you have a vowel and then Y? So here is your vowel, the O, and then there's your Y. Do you spell it A-N-N-O-I-E-D? Annoyed? No. You keep the Y. Annoyed. Vowel, Y, and then your suffix. Play. The played doesn't make sense, so you keep the Y. Played. And then even with nouns like turkey, would the plural become K-I-E-S? Nope. You keep the Y. Turkeys. So when you have a word that ends with the vowel and then a Y, you keep the Y instead of getting rid of it and adding the I. Okay, let's stop that for a second. Okay, so on page 85, you have the document of the day, and it's very short this time. It just says, lecture series, spies, lies, and sneaky guys. Hear about the business of the CIA from the spies of the Cold War. So we're going to look at spies, guys, and business and see why they did it the way they did. So the first one is spy. And what is the rule for, what is the first rule that we learned? Okay, if you're, let me find the right marker. If your word ends with a consonant and then a Y, you change the Y to I and add, we're making it plural because it's spies, so it becomes spies, because you've got consonant plus Y. The next one is guy, and we're making that plural also. But you don't have a consonant, do you? You've got a vowel. So you keep that Y, right? A vowel plus Y, you keep the Y. So that becomes guys. Okay? And then the last word, the root word is busy. Okay? But to make it business, and we don't even say busyness, even though I guess grammatically you could, busyness, but we just say business, business. It becomes business, business, because you've got consonant plus Y, so that becomes an I, and then your suffix, business. Okay, so that's it for the document of the day, but then I thought that I would do a couple for you on part A, parts of words. Okay, so we're going to do number 3, which is greedy, and number 9, which is beauty. So on number 3, greedy, they want you to add ER. So what would the rule be? You've got a consonant and a vowel and your Y, and then you're adding your suffix ER. So because it's a consonant, it becomes I. So it's greedier on number 3. Okay. And then number 9, they wanted you to do beauty and then add the suffix full. So there's your consonant plus your Y. So because you have a consonant, this becomes an I, right? Plus your suffix. So it becomes beautiful with an I, beautiful. Okay, let me see if I can find one more that would give you, yeah, let's do number 6. So they want you to do enjoy plus ing, enjoy plus ing. So this is the different one because you've got this O, you've got a vowel plus Y. So it cannot be enjoy, O-I-I-N-G, because when you've got ing, you keep that Y, right? So it becomes enjoying, and that's number 6. Okay, so you guys need to reference or refer back to those 4 rules. So write it down if you want. Hint, hint, you kind of need to write down those rules because part E is going to ask you for those rules. So pause it, go back a little bit and write down all these rules. Sometimes you can remember stuff better if you write it down at least once. So write down the rules because hint, hint, you're going to need them when you come to part E in this. Okay. The next one, you're going to need all 4 of those rules actually for this one. It says write the phrases and it's blank. But guess what? I have 5 sentences for you to write down. So you are going to write 5 complete sentences and you're going to change the Y's or keep the Y's according to those 4 rules that you are learning. So let me get back to our document. And how do I find, there we go. Okay, so number 1, 3, you need to change puppies, 3 puppies were asleep and 2 puppies were awake and crying. So tell me how you would spell, show me how you would spell puppies, and how would you spell crying. This next one, you kind of really do have to listen to what I'm saying. The annoying monkeys spied our colorful hats and tried to steal them. Number 3, the sunniest day of the year is the 20th of June. Number 4, the beautiful birds are busiest in the morning when they are supplying food to their babies. And number 5, everyone denied that they took, oh man, I could have done denied. Oh well, there you go, free one. Because the root word of denied is denied, D-E-N-Y. Oh well. Okay, number 5. Everyone denied that they took the glorious diamond necklace, which made the detective furious. Fury is mad, anger, very mad. Okay, so you write in the correct spelling of those Y's, and you should cover all 4 of those parts that we just discussed. Okay. Now we're going to stop sharing for a second. Okay, so that was B, write the phrases. C, all you have to do is you have to separate these words and attach and write down the root word and then write down the suffix. And basically that's to help you remember to go back the opposite way, and make sure that you're adding the Y in the root word. So for example, it's not a number, but tiniest. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one down, tiniest. Tiniest. So you have tiny, and the comparative is tinier, and then superlative is tiniest. So the root word is tiny plus est. And because there's a consonant and then your Y, you add it, you change it to I, remember? But you are separating them down to their root words. So it's tiny plus the suffix est. Next one that I'm going to do for you is loneliness. Okay, so the root word is what? Lonely. So remember to add that Y back, because up here, because you've got a consonant, well right here, because you've got a consonant and then the Y, it becomes I. But if you're doing the root word, make sure that you add that Y back. Lonely plus ness becomes loneliness. Okay, and the last one I'm going to do for you is furious. So same thing, consonants, there's the I, but if you're breaking it down to the root word, you know that I goes back to the original Y. Fury plus us, the suffix OUS, becomes furious. All right? So I did 3 of the 10 words for you on C. So you're just separating it into the root word and make sure that you are adding that Y back. And then your suffix from it. Okay, so on number D, not number D, on the letter D, exercise D, you did, basically it's just continuing that same pattern, like carry, plus S becomes carries. And so that would be carries, because you've got the R. Well, let me just write the whole thing down for you. So carry plus S. Remember the rule, carry plus S. This has to become the I, because you've got consonant plus Y, so it becomes the I. But instead of just adding S, you have to add ES, carries. Otherwise, if you didn't have that E, it would be carries. So to make it still sound like E, carry, and then carries, when you have the I, you add ES. Did I put that in the rules? If not, I sure should have. Let me check. Let's go back and look at that. I'm pretty sure I did, but it was just with a different context. But let's look at it just to make sure. Let's go back up. Yes, I did. Number 2. If we are adding the suffix X, S, change the Y to I, and then add ES. So on exercise D, you're going to be doing that rule. Okay, so let me stop sharing that. All right, and then lo and behold, part E is you have to complete the rule. So you have to look at those 4. You really do need to write down the 4 parts of that rule so that you can fill in the blanks on this one. Okay, and then we're going to go to exercise F to write the exceptions. And lo and behold, guess what the first 2 are? They're irregular verbs. Do you see why you just have to memorize the irregular verbs, because it's always, it just doesn't follow any rule, right? Okay, so pay becomes paid. You do not go paid like that. And then say becomes said, and you do not go, wow, that heater is so loud. It's so cold today, my heater is turning on. You do not do said. Let me get rid of these just so everybody is clear. And paid and said are your irregular verbs. Okay, then shy, you keep, even though there's a consonant, the H, you keep that Y, shyness. Okay, and then turkey we've kind of already covered. Because when you have a vowel and a Y, you keep the Y, and it becomes turkeys, not like that. Even though you might think that would be correct for the plural, you don't. Okay, so I did 4 exceptions for you. So you can find seven of them if you want, or you can just do 5, 6, and 7. Find 3 more exceptions. Your choice. You can do whichever you want. Okay. And then on page 88, they want you just 2 exercises back, you separated the word into its 2 root words. Now they want you to combine the root word and its suffix to make the new word. So the first one, I have to find my eraser. Going through all my mini boards. So the first one is key plus S. And so now they want you to combine that. And you would think because that's a vowel, and there's your Y, that you do what? When it's a vowel and a Y, you keep that Y, right? So it just becomes keys. So on exercise G, you are now combining the root word and the suffix and spelling it correctly. All right, so on your smooth, oh, and also I was going to point out that on exercise G, it's also going to cover the rules that we learned last week about when do you double your consonants, and then when do you drop your E, and when do you keep your E. So 3 rules now. When do you double your consonants, when do you drop the E or keep the E, and when do you drop the Y or keep the Y. So you've got 3 different areas now. And these questions will cover all 3 of those rules. And the same thing down here for your smooth reading, which I'm going to read for you, covers all 3 of the rules. You'll see a little bit of all of it. On the 20th of July, Sal testified in court. He was very tired and he began crying on the stand. The suddenness of the prying questions began to confuse him. He thought his enemies would win, even though he was innocent. Wow, that's a very dramatic reading, isn't it? Okay, so on that, guess what? You now get to separate those words into the root word plus the suffix. So G, you're combining them, and then H, separate those words that are in bold. Okay, so as if that wasn't enough, guess what? We're going to go on to ventures today, but it's sort of just like a recall of everything that you learned already from Unit 10. And we're still looking at parties and fun events. So basically, on page 89, you just attach the vocabulary words to the correct area on your picture. And then you have a word search. And I did check. It's not like April Fool's. All of the words are in there, so that's good. Okay. And then we're going to listen, exercise 3. We're going to listen to that. We're going to listen to that. So I'm just going to stop it for just 1 second so I can get ready for that. Okay, so we're going to start with conversation A.
Unit 10, Free Time, page 115, Exercise 3, Track 33. Conversation A.
Hello, Uncle Lee. I'm so happy to see you.
Hi, Amy. Thank you for inviting me to your graduation party.
Thank you for coming, Uncle Lee. Would you like a piece of cake?
Yes, thank you. That cake looks delicious. Did you make it?
No, we didn't have time. Dad bought the cake at a bakery.
Well, I'm sure it's good. But first, please take these. I brought you some flowers from my garden.
Thank you, Uncle Lee. They're beautiful.
I see you have a lot of presents.
Yes, look. Aunt Lisa brought me some perfume.
Ah, perfume. That's a nice present. Conversation B.
Hi, Ms. Landers. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me, Amy. I'm so proud of you. You worked hard this year.
Thanks, Ms. Landers. You're my favorite teacher. You helped me a lot. Where are your children?
They're in the garden. I think they're playing with your Uncle Lee.
Oh, Uncle Lee loves children. I'm so glad you brought your children to the party.
Well, they're having a great time.
hot out there. Would they like some water?
Yes, thanks. That sounds nice.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Wait, I'll get it. You enjoy your party.
Conversation C.
Hi, Amy. Congratulations. What a nice party. Hi, Sophie. Thanks for coming. There are a lot of people here. Is that your sister over there? Yes, that's my sister May, but there are a lot of people from English class here. Oh, great. Hey, did Ms. Landers come too? Yes, I think she's in the garden. She brought her children. They're so cute. Yes, and she's a great teacher. Wow, look at all these cards. Yes, everyone brought me cards. Would you like to see the card from Danny? It's funny. Okay. Oh, I brought you a card too, but it's not funny. Oh, Sophie, it's a beautiful card. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I hope that conversation A was completely done. My fancy blocking of myself when the recordings are going fell off, so I stopped it. So this is what I use when you guys are listening to Ventures. I just put it over my camera. So anywho, I hope that conversation A is complete. I'll listen to it later and find out if it is. If not, I'll add it to the end. Okay, so on that conversation A, B, and C, just write whether or not those answers were true or false. And then on lesson B, this is a review of would. Remember the W-O-U-L-D, we pronounce it would. Would, should, could. And on number 1, they gave you the answer. Would you like some cake? Yes, I would. So I'm going to do 2 and 3 for you, just so that you can get into the routine. So on 2, the answer is yes, they would. So, and what they want you to fill in the blank is some coffee. And you know you're going to use they because the answer is yes, they would. So your question needs to include some coffee, and it needs to include the word they. Okay, so 2A is, would they like some coffee? And then the answer on B, yes, they would. Number 3, they want you to use some ice cream, and the answer says, yes, we would. So you are using the plural form when you are asking someone a question. It's not just one person, because we is more than just one I, right? It's 3, 4, 5 people. So would you like some ice cream? And this you is plural, right? Like would you and you and you? Would you 3 like some ice cream? And the answer is, so sorry, I'm throwing my mini boards at you now. And the answer is yes, we would. Now, personally, I would include some thank yous every once in a while. Yes, we would. Thank you. Okay, but you don't have to because that's not what they want from you. So you go ahead and fill out 4, 5, 6, and 7 using the answer on whether you're using they, I, you, he, she. Okay, and then the very same thing down here, you're just attaching the right question to the right answer using would on the bottom of page 91. And then on page 92, you are reviewing the contractions of would. Remember, you'd say, yes, I would like some ice cream, or you could say, yes, I'd like some ice cream. Yes, you'd like some ice cream. Yes, he'd like some ice cream. Yes, she'd like some ice cream. Yes, we'd like some ice cream. Yes, they'd like some ice cream. So on exercise 3, page 92, you're using the contraction of I would is I'd, you would is you'd, he would is he'd, she would, she'd, we would, we'd, they would, they'd. So that's what you're doing here is the contraction. That's a review. Okay. Okay, we're going to listen to one more track, and I'm going to use my fancy screen blocker, and you're going to listen to one last conversation for exercise 4, the listening skills for lessons, exercise 4. So let me stop this for 1 second.
117. $34. Welcome to Sarah's graduation party. What would you like to drink?
I would like some soda, please.
Would you like a piece of cake too?
No, thank you. I'm full.
Okay. How about you, Jerry? Would you like something to drink? Yes, thank you. I'd like a cup of tea, please. Okay, here you go. Would you like something to eat? Yes, please. I'd like a hot dog, a sandwich, some cookies, and 2 pieces of cake. Wow. Okay. How about your children? What would they like to eat? My children? This food is for them.
Okay, so that is it for today. I'm hoping those ventures were recorded accurately today, but I'll check it just to be sure. Tomorrow, we have a whole bunch to do tomorrow, and it's going to be sort of like, if you don't get done with it, then let it go on to Wednesday. And if you don't get done with Wednesdays, let it go on to Thursday. And then I assure you that on Thursday, you are not going to be able to get done with all of that on Thursday. So we'll go through the highlights, and that's just something that you can continue to do over the summer. All right, so I will see everyone tomorrow. It has just started to rain here, which is lovely. So I'm hoping it's raining in whatever town you're in. Not unless you don't like the rain, but I love the rain. So see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.